Oh, hello, everyone. Is it that we don't have enough iron in the body, or do we have a liver issue that is blocking our iron from absorption? So as we all know, iron is essential, but too much of it can be dangerous. And the reason for that is because iron is highly reactive. When it's circulating by itself in the bloodstream, it can cause oxidation, it can damage our tissues, and it can even damage our organs. So to prevent this, the body does not allow iron to travel alone. We have special proteins that are produced by the liver. Transferrin transport iron, and also the liver produces ferritin that stores extra iron. So when we have too much iron in the bloodstream, the liver releases a hormone called hepcidin. And hepcidin blocks iron from absorption. This means iron stays stored in ferritin form even if the body needs it. Hepcidin is a modulator. It's a regulator for iron. When it goes up, absorption goes down. So this is a key point. When hepcidin goes up, iron absorption goes down. So we often think that low ferritin in the bloodstream means we need more iron, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's not a lack of iron that drives low ferritin, and more so than not, it ends up being an issue with the liver or too much inflammation causing high levels of hepcidin to be released. So any form of liver disease can trigger high hepcidin levels. And this high level keeps iron trapped and stored in ferritin. This is why people with conditions like anemia of chronic disease or liver problems may still have iron stored and trapped in their body, but simply cannot use it. So taking more iron can actually make things worse. And that's because many people assume that low iron automatically means they need more, but it's far from the reality. So in this presentation, I'm going to break down certain lab markers that will help us identify if the body has enough iron, but just not using it. And I'm also going to go over some problematic, popular bestsellers, iron supplements that can actually do more harm than good. They increase oxidation, they damage our cells, and potentially cause oxidative stress. So let's start with the biomarkers. So the biomarkers, before we talk about the biomarkers, the symptoms are crystal clear in terms of fatigue, muscle weakness, brittle nails, and hair loss. These are the key symptoms that we normally see when we have anemia. But the biomarker that I want to add to the iron panel that we should look at is hepcidin. Hepcidin, as I mentioned, it regulates iron absorption, and it will tell us whether the liver is actually, if we are taking too much iron, or if the liver is under some kind of stress and causing hepcidin to go up, meaning iron absorption is being trapped and iron is not getting absorbed in the cells. We also need to look at the hemoglobin. So one way to determine if it's a liver issue or a lack of iron, if you are taking supplements and your hemoglobin and red blood cell count is not going up, that means it's not an iron issue. It's something else. So it's very important to keep an eye on the hemoglobin count as well as the red blood cells. You also want to look at the inflammation markers, CRP, interleukin-6, and ESR. If you have an inflammation, it's very likely that you will have high levels of hepcidin, which means you will block absorption of iron. So these inflammation markers are just as crucial as the iron panel. Some clues, if you have low or normal TIBC, total iron binding capacity. If you have high ferritin and high inflammation marker and high hepcidin, all of these are pointing to the liver and not so much that you don't have enough iron. So taking iron in these conditions may actually cause more damage and potentially oxidation in your body. So we really want to get down to the root cause and not just randomly or blindly take more iron simply because ferritin is low. So here are some of the supplements that I see that are problematic. And the reason being is because if you take ferrous sulfate, for example, now this one, once it's broken down by the hydrochloric acid in the stomach, then it becomes a free iron. And because of that, it can bind to anything. And before it binds to an antioxidant agent, it can cause oxidation. So there is a window where if it's not intercepted by an antioxidant agent such as vitamin C or E or others, you may have oxidation in your body. So those three, as you can see from this table, I have put in the risk of oxidative stress, and ferrous sulfate, which is number one seller, is high. And then you have ferrous fumarate and then gluconate. All those are high as well. The best one that I recommend is iron biglycinate. And that's a pure from vegetables. It's not a heme or it's not a meat driven. And absorption rate for that one is really high. And the oxidative stress risk is really low. And it doesn't have much of a GI side effect. So that definitely iron biglycinate by far is the best option for those who cannot, who do not eat meat. Now, for those who can, who are not vegetarians, iron polypeptide. This is a heme iron, and this is my go-to when we truly identify that we don't have enough iron in our body and it's not a liver issue. Then iron polypeptide is definitely the go-to, and it has a high absorption rate and no oxidative stress. Definitely my best recommendation for those who need iron. And these are my references. And as always, folks, if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section. And thank you so much and goodbye.